Peace Collective. Today I'm bringing y'all a channeled message, okay? Today's message is, what do you need to thrive? We are entering a season, collective, where you've done the rebirth. You have been working with your parasympathetic nervous system, okay, to, have your resets. You've been focusing on physical health. You've been focusing on your mental health. You've been focusing on your emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being. You have been doing everything to align with yourself in the present moment. And this has been such a beautiful process. A lot of you are also working with, angelics, archangelics. I know I'm working with them. I am also channeling this message with Archangel Michael. You are in a season of exploration in your life, and it could be a very soft exploration, right? Some of you may even be reluctant to explore. And I want to sit here and say that it's an individual journey for all of us, right? And as I said that, it was 11 or 111. It is an individual journey for all of us. However, there are similarities within the journey. And this is why this message is being brought, because Spirit has been telling me for a while, specifically myself, that it is time to get out there. It is time to explore life. And I'm just like, I have gone through too much trauma. I'm just not ready. And so circumstances have been created to kind of push me out, or allowed to happen to push me out, right? The divine can always use something for your greatest good. And as that situation came to an end, right, it was handled, the divine says, you need the sun to thrive. And I'm just like, well, I need rest. And they're right. Personally for me, I need the sun to thrive. And this is the next journey and the next phase within my journey. Collective, you are also facing the next phase within your journey, because many of us can get caught up in cycles of doing the shadow work, right? Doing the healing. And it's not to sit here and say that there's anything with shadow work. There's nothing wrong with healing. You've done so much of it, but you've also gotten really comfortable in the shadow work. You've gotten really comfortable in the healing phase. You are not meant to be in a wartime zone all the time, collective. And it's time to open yourself up to the possibilities of life blooming for you. See, the whole journey and the whole rebirth process was to actively take steps in becoming the ideal version of self, and you have accomplished that. You continue to shape and grow, but to sit here and say that you will ever get to a place where you are perfect would mean that you allow yourself to become stagnant, would mean that you allow yourself to stop growing. And in that, you're never going to have the perfect time. You're never going to have the perfect circumstances to allow your blooming to happen. Your blooming is just going to happen when you're ready. But that readiness isn't going to be when you're perfect, when there's no flaws, when there's nothing else to work through. You can trust yourself that you are a being with much integrity, that you move with integrity, that you truly are a being after the heart and mind of God, that you are doing your best every single moment, as you operate from the consciousness, to navigate these waters, to navigate this terrain, especially when there's a lot of people who are dealing in the unconscious. You are doing your best to navigate this terrain consciously, and Spirit wants to focus on you specifically today. So I know that Spirit is telling you the next phase in your journey. And I feel like for a lot of you, it is that confidence of putting yourself out there. It is that confidence for some of just living. See, for me, my wounding has had me so jarred that I haven't wanted to be around people. I'm just like, oh, let me be like Bubble Boy and wrap me up in a bubble and be okay in that bubble state. But in that bubble state, I keep myself so protected and so blocked that nothing can actively access me. And even the things that are meant to align with me, collective, what behaviors are you delving into consciously on a day-to-day basis or unconsciously that are keeping you in this bubble as well? That you are actively disobeying the orders of spirit. And they might not be direct in that way, but you are too busy shielding yourself because you're afraid or even unwilling to even explore what comes next. That now you are blocking the alignments that are supposed to take place. Collective, I feel like the person I'm talking to, you've done a lot of work and you can trust that you're going to continue to do the work. But now, do the work more so in a public setting. Do the work more in things that you like. And even if you're uncertain if you like something, what's literally popping out to me right now is discover, right? Try to discover new things and see how you will react to these new discoveries, to see if you would like it, to see if it would be in alignment with you. And in discovering, you're going to be connecting to the higher vibrations, those that are soul family, soul tribes. And it may not happen right away, but the whole point that you are taking a step out, and you're allowing yourself an opportunity to connect with the right individuals. And it's okay to be guarded, but you're not allowing that guardedness to keep you locked in your room all day. See, I be making promises to the divine, y'all. And I gotta follow through with those promises. And in following through with those promises, it's putting me in a precarious situation where my wounded self and the aspect of self that's been so traumatized doesn't want to engage with people. And they're like, well, it's time to live. You ready to live? And I'm like, I haven't slept enough. I literally got up, y'all. I got dressed, had a whole pretty outfit on. I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to wear. I should have wore it. But the point is that I didn't. And I took a nap. It was lunchtime. So I was like, okay, this is my first meal. Like, I'm going to go, excuse me. I was like, I'm going to go take a nap. I was like, I was up for 2 hours. Not even, I was like up for like an hour, washed up, got dressed. I was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to go back to sleep. And see, I've been sleeping for a long time, and now it's time to awaken. And so I'm like, all right, I've been worked on, I've had all these traumas, as I'm sure you have your own version of traumas, your own experiences. And you've been in a season of really caring for yourself. I don't want to sit here and say collective don't care for yourself. There's been a rebirth, and I feel like there is a, infancy type of collective consciousness that's happening right now for the collective that I'm tapping into. And in this infancy stage, you eventually are going to grow. Now, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still this newborn. Hey, bitch, showing me that's not the case. I'm still under like a year old, right? But I'm more so like, in the later months. And I'm like, okay, so it's growing. Your consciousness is growing. It's not going to be growing at the same rate of like an actual child, okay? It's going to be growing at different rates. And I want to say like this consciousness that you're operating out of, it's growing, it's expanding rapidly. But in this expansion, it's happening rapidly. You're catering or being still drawn to the soft stages in this conscious development. And in operating out of the soft stages, you've enjoyed this. You haven't wanted to bring much into your energetic field. But then you start to become more hungry, just like a child that goes from, or a baby that goes from formula or cancer formula, breast milk, to now adding cereals and baby foods. You're needing more to sustain you. Because I was surviving off of like salads and fruits. And nothing wrong with that. I just wasn't having enough. And my body was like, okay, these expansions that you're going through, it's not enough. And Now I've been needing to eat more. I was like, I just want to be skinny, be so light and not necessarily wither away, but just be so light, kind of like float away. And Spirit's like, no, you need to have some grounding. You need to have something to keep you on this earth plane. That's at that 10, 11. And you may be giving them the side eyes in the same way that I am with love, of course. Never no disrespect to, the guardians, the ancestors for the highest good. So much love for them. But there's been what I feel like truly the person I'm tapping into of resistance. Because life has played out in a particular kind of way for you where it's like, no, I'm done with the hardships. And you've been guarding yourself because you don't want to experience those hardships again. And I feel like energetically the divine is letting you know that's not what is going to happen. Because you've gained wisdoms and discernment through this process. So now you know what is welcomed into your energetic sphere and what you will allow. So you can trust that you're just not allowing anything to come into your sacred space. With that being stated, yeah, collective, it's time. It's time to listen to the specific advice for the divine in your own life that's going to allow you to thrive. For me, they're saying the sun is going to be the thing that allows me to thrive. And that means that I have to go out here and explore. That means I have to put myself and allow the sun to bless me with its graces. And so whatever you're meant to align with collective, you will know. You'll have this inner knowing. You might have downloads, messages, and you might be channeled. But you're getting the answers. This is the season we welcomed ourselves into. So thank you for listening to this message from me in spirit. Take care, y'all. Peace.